Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Woodstock, Georgia. This is Fearless Formula with Sharon Klein. Welcome to Fearless Formula on Business RadioX, where we talk about the ups and downs of the business world and offer words of wisdom for business success. I am your host, Sharon Klein, and today in the studio, we have the owner of an insurance company. It's called InsurancePM. It's a family-run independent insurance agency. It customizes insurance to your specific needs. It covers all your insurance needs. It's a one-stop shop. That's just one of the things that this gentleman does. Very excited to have in the studio. John D'Angelo, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here. We just chatted for 30 minutes before this, so this is part two.
Yeah, I tried to save the best for this because I have a lot of questions. So the minute you get in here, I'm like, what about this? What about that? So
she does. She has like an interrogation light on me right now.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, totally.
I can tell. You seem really chill. I'm happy to have you in the studio because there are a couple ways that our lives kind of intersect. One of them is in the voiceover world, and you use your voice in a unique way, but also the motorcycle world. That's how I've got to know you initially.
That's right. We at the Buck Jones ride.
That's right, the Buck Jones ride.
Yeah, and every November.
Mm-hmm. And that was an amazing ride this past year. Every year it just gets a little bit bigger and a little more bikes, Jeeps. It's so much fun to know that you're doing something that you enjoy, but other people get to benefit as well. All of these different counties and these children that don't have as many options for Christmas and they don't have something to look forward to, they get to benefit too. So it's the win-win that makes me happy. But also I've gotten to chit chat with you a little bit on the different bike nights that are associated with Buck Jones, which has been really fun. And you do the announcing there, which is nice for all the different awards and prizes and things.
Yeah, I think I'm the MC more than the announcer because I'm drinking beer and eating wings at Miller's Ale House, and it's usually in Dawsonville.
That's right.
Which they've been just such a generous host to those bike nights every month. So we're gonna get those going again, I believe, it's nice now. So let's start next week. But usually in March.
Yeah, it's beautiful out right now. And there's a bike parked right outside, a motorcycle parked right outside the studio. It's not mine, but man, it makes me want to ride. And I was saying, just seeing you, I'm like, where's my bike? Because that's always when I'm on my bike when I see you. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I pulled in and I thought it was yours. I was like, here we go.
I know. I gotta scour this whole studio and figure out who has this bike so we can chat. Okay, so can you talk to me about, first of all, you're an Atlanta native, right?
I am born and raised in Atlanta.
Went to Dunwoody High School.
I did. I still speak to my principal that was, the principal at that time. She's retired now, but she still keeps tabs on me and which is very cool. And a couple of teachers as well.
Wow, that says a lot about you. Knowing that you had friendships, it's kind of nice.
No, they just said they had to keep eyes on the troublemakers, so they're still doing it to me.
Okay, so how did you get into the insurance business?
My parents were in the insurance industry for a long, ever since I was growing up. So they did inspections and field management. And so I was like, I'm never doing that ever again because I just thought it was a nerdy profession, tell you the truth, with, Revenge of the Nerds when we were growing up. Mm-hmm. That's how I viewed all insurance agents, anybody in the insurance world with glasses, tape around their nose piece. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's not me.
They seem like they would be sticklers about things and writing up like reports and things.
Yes, it's a hard industry, actually. It's a lot of tape and rules and regulations that a lot of the general public doesn't even know about.
I would love to know that side because this is an opportunity for anyone listening to kind of have a more well-rounded view of your industry. But I mean, for you to get started in it, kind of following your parents, I mean, they must have helped you kind of guide you as you were getting started.
No.
What happened?
No, they did not.
How did you get into it?
Actually, when I graduated and stuff, I was, competing in martial arts and all that good stuff. And my gear, my martial arts uniforms, gear, it all always kept tearing up, right? So I actually started out my career in martial arts, and then I opened up a equipment manufacturing company, and I built or manufactured and designed all the equipment that boxers use, martial artists use, and I had factories in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Korea, and one other country. I forgot what it was, but
So this is out of high school you did this?
yeah. I was
Wow.
out of high school. I opened up a couple of credit cards and went in debt that way until I started making money.
But you obviously saw a need, given that you were not able to keep your equipment from falling apart. So you're like, I can do this better.
Yeah, pretty much. So I developed a high-end gear, so it was a little more expensive, but, there was only one competitor in Georgia, and I was like, oh, perfect. This is before the internet took off. This is back in the early 90s.
Wow. So you were obviously in that industry for a while. What happened after that?
Yeah, so then the internet started taking off, and everybody could import whatever they want, order from wherever they wanted. There was just so much, and I was just a one-man show, pretty much, and it just got too much to compete with the high rollers. So then I got into while I was doing that, I got into fight promotions. When I owned the store, it was called Pro Rank, and then I said, oh, okay, well, I don't like fighting anymore because it hurts even when you win. I mean, bruises for weeks, right? I was like, that's not me. I'm not ever going to be a world champion. I'm not going to be good enough to even compete with those guys, because I used to spar some world champions, and they just tore me up. So no matter how tough you are, get in a ring with a world champion, and they'll humble you really quick. But so I was like, I'll just have other people fight and put on the show and put on a good show.
So you learned, you had already been exposed to the industry. So then you learned the other side, which is the promoting of it.
The promotions, yes. Mm-hmm. So that is really fun. It's almost like the radio show here. It's just a fun thing to do. And you can make money at it and get a little notoriety to it. Yeah.
You have a nickname, Mr. Fight Mouth, right?
I do. Oh, yeah, Mr. Fight Mouth. I was like, what nickname and what website did you go to?
I only did a little cyber stalking this time.
Yeah. You actually gave me a hot flash for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, what sites is she going to? But anyway, Mr. Fight Mouth, go by Fight Mouth for short. And that's once I retired from fight promoting, I was like, I still want to be involved in the sport. And I was like, okay, well, I have a decent announcing voice. And it took probably 20 years to develop, because when I was promoting, one of my announcers actually didn't show up to do the job. So I had to get in there and do it. And it was awful.
Oh no.
I was like, I don't know who's in this corner. Do I need note cards? Right. And good thing it was a small show. It was actually at Good Old Days. I remember. On Roswell Road, and they had a ring in there. They used to do wrestling matches and everything. So I put on some little smoker fights there, and everybody was drinking, having good fun. Rick Rufus, he was a world champion kickboxer. He came out to see a show, which was just awesome. It was a great vibe.
What do you think people don't know about that industry, given that you're on the promoting side? Most people are just coming to be entertained.
Oh, gosh. Getting the fighters to actually show up to compete is really rough, especially if you're not paying them money. So amateurs really, they drop out like flies. If they get a little, I don't know, toothache or something, they'll drop out, or personal reasons. If they just didn't sleep well that night, they'll drop out. Yeah. So then it ruins the whole show, because you have to find a replacement. Yeah. And it costs a lot to promote a show. So
that's why ticket prices are whatever they are, right?
Oh yeah. You have to pay the organization that sanctions building a ring or having that set up. that usually costs $1,000, $1,500. You pay the refs, the judges, the security, the venue you have to pay. So it really adds up. So when they charge $50 or something, they're not really making a lot of money once all those expenses go out.
How long did you do that?
Probably 94 to 2004. So 10 years probably. Yeah.
Did you see the industry change over that time?
I did.
What did you notice?
Yeah. So when I first started promoting, it was when the UFC first came out in 1994. And I was promoting kickboxing shows. And I was like, I want to promote that in Georgia. So I was like, okay, here we go. So I promoted the first No Holds Barred. It was No Holds Barred back then at the Checkered Parrot off of Jimmy Carter. You remember that?
I don't, but
No?
I was living
Jimmy
here
Carter,
at the time. I just don't remember.
Yeah, the Checkered Parrot off of Jimmy Carter. And it was a real neat bar or whatever. And we built the ring outside in the parking lot. And the parking lot was actually uneven. It had a slant to it. So we had to put bricks under the ring just to level it out. And we're like, we hope this thing doesn't fall. And the officials actually, they wanted to shut the show down unless I created a rule book. So I created a rule book for No Holds Barred. And actually I created the round system that's used today for MMA.
Wow.
The 3 5-minute rounds. I created the amateur division because a lot of times people would be so experienced and then you have somebody that wasn't experienced and they would just match them in there. And it was always a lopsided kind of fight. So I created the amateur division for, I called it pro rank sport fighting, but then NHB got coined as MMA as we know it today. Yeah. So right there at the cusp of the development of mixed martial arts.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That must be very satisfying to know that you had such an impact on such a huge industry.
Yeah, I had a great impact on it. I didn't get paid for it, but I have a good few plaques for it. Yeah. I was like, wow, that plaque looks really nice. But no Ferrari to go with it. Yeah, it's one of those notoriety things where, you're in the development stages, but then the big guys with the big money come through and take it from there. Yeah, yeah.
Do you watch it now?
Not so much anymore. No. So I'll only really watch the fights if I'm announcing the fights.
How often do you do that?
Gosh, I go all around the Southeast announcing. So usually every other month, I would say, to be fair. Sometimes once a month. Yeah.
What do you love most about announcing?
Oh, I like being in the ring and just the energy and creating that energy and excitement to the audience. Yeah.
Do you do the thing where you kind of read the audience and see what they need? Do you know what I mean? Like if they're not responding or something?
Yes.
It's a skill, isn't it?
It is. And then my wife will usually go with me and she goes, okay, because I have a real soothing voice. She goes, you need to pick it up, step it up, So otherwise I'm like a psychologist in there. So how do you feel? Yeah, seriously.
How's everyone feeling tonight?
Right, how's everybody feeling tonight? Exactly.
But it sounds so fun, and I imagine there's a side of it that seems very glamorous.
It may seem that way, but once you're done, occasionally somebody might go, good job or whatever, and then you get, your paycheck. But I do it for the fun of it now, just to give back to the martial arts community. Yeah. So it's nice.
You have a lot of friends then that are mixed martial artists that, are in your network of people.
Yes. Actually, I just went to support one of the fighters that I used to promote, Joe Elmore. He was in the BKFC in Duluth just a couple of weeks ago. So he had a nice fight. That's the bare knuckle fighting.
Oh.
So
that sounds so horrible. I don't know.
It's rough. Yeah. No, thank you.
I mean, I'm sure it's entertaining, but it sounds violent. I don't know.
It is violent. And I think they love that term. I'm about to go violent today,
Oh,
that kind of
really?
thing. Yeah, yeah. But they're the nicest people ever, the fighters. They're unbelievably humble, and yeah, you would think they would be bullies or something like that, but you see them in a alleyway and you feel totally comfortable. Yeah. Some of them might look a little rough, but
Well, if they're bare knuckle fighting, there
yeah.
must be blood.
Yes.
That's awesome for you. For you. That's great.
Yeah. No, it's not for me anymore. I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to do it.
No, I don't know. I'm a baby, I guess.
Yeah.
I like peace and
I don't
harmony.
even want to get my teeth cleaned, no less get them knocked out. You know what I mean? If it's a dentist with Novocaine, yeah, just shoot me up with Novocaine first, and then I'll go to bare knuckle boxing so I don't feel my face getting punched in.
Okay, so you also got started in insurance. So when did that kick in for your life? When did you get started?
Oh, this show's about insurance.
It's about the many hats you wear.
Gosh, man, I was having fun. Now we got to get all nerdy again, right? Yeah.
Insurance is important for life.
It is.
Imagine the people that are doing the fighting have insurance.
Yeah, we do insure a lot of the fight shows, actually.
See, it all works out.
Yeah, so so it's a great networking opportunity for me to keep involved in the martial arts.
Because you don't do just like car insurance, you do you do commercial insurance. Will you talk about the different ways that you can help people in their lives?
Sure, yeah. So there's personal lines, right? So that's car, home, RVs, motorcycles, anything personal, and then life, health, Medicaid, long-term care we do. Then there's commercial insurance, which is your business insurance. Yeah, and anybody that has like a lawn care business, a contractor. So we supply, benefits for that. Workers' comp. Yeah.
Wow, you cover so much. It
is a lot. Yeah.
So if someone were interested in getting started in this industry, what kind of advice would you have for them? Because is there something that you wish that you knew before you got started in the insurance industry?
Yeah, I kind of wish I got into it a lot earlier because,
really?
Well, yeah, because as far as money making goes, every year you're compounding your production. So you have whatever I write this year goes into next year, provided they stay with the policy, and whatever I write next year, it just compounds every year. So just think about it. If you're in it for 10 years, then, you're doing pretty well.
Building. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if you're in auto sales, right, you're always starting from zero the next month. And I was like, I don't have that kind of patience to start from zero again, because then you're a loser at day one, right? So
a lot of work.
Day one each month, you're already starting out, as long as you have some years behind you, you're starting out ahead. Yeah, which is nice.
Very smart.
So, yeah.
It's like working smarter, not harder kind of thing.
Right.
So when did you get started in insurance then?
Well, I started our own company 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Or 2015, something like that. It's been almost 10 years. Yeah.
So you had been doing the MMA and the announcing and all of that, but then you saw that you needed something else.
Well, yeah, I got married, and then I was doing some acting, right?
Right. That's
Which
another
is
hat you wear.
another hat.
That's right.
And doing little side bits, and that's where Presence Models and Talent.
That's
She
right.
she thought I was a model, but I was like, no,
I was like,
no.
You also have done something kind of cool on Facebook, which I thought was neat. You are the owner and CEO of the Italian Club of Georgia.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you become the founder and CEO of the Italian Club of Georgia?
Now, I keep mentioning my wife, right? My wife's name's Amore, which is a nice Italian name, means love. And she's actually from South Africa. So there's a big South African community here in Atlanta. And we go to their events and everything. And I was like, you know what? There's never an Italian event, or not many, right, around here. So I don't want to open up another South African club because they're already doing that. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So I was like, I'll open up an Italian club. And I think we have over 1,000 members now. Yeah.
What are your events like?
So here's the cool thing is it's the membership is free, but then we do some events. But then we do some events called Italian Sunday Family Dinner, because up north, all the Italian families get together on Sundays. The mom cooks all the sauce for the whole day or 2 days, right? And we get together on Sunday. All the Italian moms and some of the guys, they cook. They all bring their own food, and then we share it. So they bring a tray that feeds, I don't know, 12 people. And we all get together, have wine, and there's about 50, 60 people that come to each dinner. Yeah.
Wow.
And then a couple of Italian restaurants, they host it for us. So it's great advertising for that restaurant just to bring in new people. And we're pretty much hold the events in the coming Alpharetta area. Yeah, I think the next one we're holding is at Mondo Ristorante. Yeah, right? My Italian stinks, right? But yeah, he's from Brooklyn, New Jersey. He came down here, opened up a restaurant. His name's Joe, and he's hosting it next month in March.
Does it feel like family when you're in those events?
It does. It feels like family because when I first started doing them, some people said, we should wear name tags. I go, nope. I go, family members don't wear name tags. It's an Italian family Sunday. If you don't know your cousin's name, ask him what it is. You know, that kind of thing. Just start, be sociable. Hey, where are you from? What part of Jersey are you from? That kind of thing. That's all. What did you make today? Just start the conversation. That's it. Yeah.
It's almost like that restaurant, Buca di Beppo, where they had like these big sort of family style meals, where you'd sit down, you would order, I don't whatever pasta dish, but you would get like this huge bowl of it, and then everyone passed it around and had some of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's like the Dillard House, right?
Yeah, the Dillard House.
Yeah.
The most
that's
food
Southern,
ever.
right? Yeah.
You go to the Dillard House after you've like fasted for days. I mean, they just keep bringing food after food.
We were just in the Bahamas, Nassau, and staying at Atlantis, and we went to Carmine's, and just for a quick dinner. And Carmine's is a family-style restaurant. And we just ordered salad and veal, and they brought out huge plates. And we're like, oh, my gosh. I mean, it could have fed 8 people each.
Oh, wow.
And it's just me and my wife there.
Did you ever want to see yourself go further in the announcing world, like in a professional way?
Oh, that's a great question. That would have been cool, but I if it happens, it happens. But I'm a little older now, so I think they need some younger somebody in their 30s to really take over. Yeah, because you have Michael Buffer in there, Bruce Buffer. Michael Buffer is my favorite.
Why is he your favorite?
Just the way his voice is, his presentation of announcing. I don't like the screaming like Bruce Buffer does, right? He just screams into the microphone. I like it the way his brother does it a little bit better, but that's just my personal opinion. But either or, they've made a great life and living from doing that.
But it wasn't like a passion of yours then?
It kind of is. I just don't think I was good enough, to tell you the truth. Yeah. I mean,
so
serious.
humble.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, just like acting, right? Yeah. I tried it for 5 years. I'm like, no, not getting anywhere. And then I had to humble myself and get into that nerdy insurance profession. I was like, well, I'm good at this. Yeah, definitely.
What makes you good at insurance?
Just the determination of waking up and just getting to work, every day. Maybe a little bit of social skills. Yeah, because it's a lot of marketing.
Do you go to a bunch of networking events as well?
Not really, not anymore, no.
But initially you did?
Initially, yes. But, that's why I do the motorcycle thing. I do the martial arts. So those are my networking events. Yeah.
There's always people that you'll meet that need what you're selling, right?
Right.
Always.
Exactly.
In different aspects of their lives, whether they're a business owner or, older and looking for different insurance for their family. And what is the most satisfying thing about your job? Your helping people in the insurance world?
Oh gosh, when they have a claim that actually gets paid out is very satisfying. When it doesn't get paid, that's not so satisfying, but that's rare with us. My company, we were voted best in Georgia in every category this year and last year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we were best of Gwinnett for, ever since we opened the agency. But I was like, wait a minute, we write more business than in just Gwinnett. I was like, we're writing all over Georgia. So I was like, is there a best of Georgia? And then they go, yes, there is. I was like, okay. So, all of our clients, they vote for us. And I think we won by a landslide.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You were
support.
You were just on Fox 5 Atlanta in December.
Yes.
How did that go? What was it like?
It's just like this, very professional and lovely. Yeah.
That's all I need you to say. We're done with this interview. Hooray, he said it. 30 minutes in.
That's right. Yeah, the security was a little harder to get into the news station, but
how did that happen? Did they approach you?
Yes. So I think one of the reporters did, and she was like you, just really smooth and just a great interviewer. Yeah.
That must have been fun though to see also the opportunity to promote your business in such a public way. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I just really got on there to educate just the general public of how they can save money on their auto insurance. They'll call me back for the homeowners segment sometime this year. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
so
scheduled.
You go back.
Yeah.
So you feel like most people don't really understand the nuances of your industry?
Yeah. We explain the rules almost all the time. It's a lot more difficult than the TV commercials make it seem. They're like, oh, just sign up and
we'll take care of everything.
We'll take care of you and you'll have the best rate ever. There's really a lot more to it than that, especially if you have, like, for example, auto insurance. If you have multiple people in the house, everybody has to be listed on your policy. Yeah, and a lot of people go, oh, no, they're just a roommate. It doesn't matter.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they either have to be listed as an included driver or an excluded driver. And an excluded driver means that they're never going to drive your car, right? But if they do, it just go on their own insurance. Your insurance won't cover it. But the excluded driver actually surcharges you a little bit more. So a lot of people want to leave that out, but it's really makes a dangerous situation.
Yeah, I was thinking about homeowners insurance, how there was someone who talked to me about this recently, asked me if I had if I had done updates to my house, did I report that so that it increased the amount that I would get back if something did happen to my home? And I hadn't done that. So that's something I didn't know I had to for some reason.
Oh, yeah. So if you get a new water heater, a new HVAC system, a new roof especially, definitely contact your insurance carrier, and you'll actually get a discount on your insurance, especially the roof.
Interesting.
Yeah, providing you didn't make the claim and insurance paid for it. Yeah, so if you paid out of pocket, and still, even if you did make a claim, sometimes it doesn't get recorded that you actually have that new roof. So you have to make sure that it's.
And you work with all different agencies, correct? You work with all different insurance companies.
Yeah, I think total we're contracted with over 150 of them.
Oh,
so,
I didn't even know there were that many.
Oh, there's probably 1,000 or more.
Well, I just think of the big ones that advertise so much,
Yeah, well, that's right. So sometimes we quote, a certain carrier, and then the customer says, I've never heard of that, right? And I go, oh, it's not a TV commercial carrier, She goes, well, then is it good? I said, is McDonald's good for you? Right? You see them on TV all the time. Doesn't mean that they're actually really that great. So a lot of, do you see Aston Martins on TV commercials?
Right.
No.
Right.
Rolls Royce? No.
They don't.
So there's a lot of carriers that are really good just for the affluent market that aren't on TV commercials. Yeah.
Power of advertising, though, right?
It is. It's a little bit of brainwashing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But everybody knows that the Rolls Royce is a great car, right?
That's the word of mouth, right?
Yeah. Right. So, for example, the $1 million plus homes go to, we place them with a carrier called Chubb.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Oh, you have heard of them. Word of mouth, right?
I have heard of them.
They're
I don't
the
even know
Rolls
why,
Royce,
but I've heard
right.
of them.
Yeah. So they're a little more expensive, but, when it comes time for a claim, they take care of you like red carpet.
What do you think it is about you that is sort of your fearless formula? Like, I was thinking what it must be like to be a young person and saying, I want to manufacture different kinds of equipment that have never been made before, high end. Here's what I'm going to do. What is it about you that has that sort of drive and initiative that doesn't allow fear to stop you from pursuing something that you're interested in?
Oh, I don't care what other people think. That's plain and simple. A lot of people go, oh, that person doesn't like you or they're making fun of me. I don't care. I'm just going to do it. learn.
Is that
learn
do you think that's like something that you learned how to manage, or is that just part of your personality?
I think that was just my upbringing. Yeah. Yeah. Or part of my personality. Yeah.
I think a lot of people could benefit from that. Shame is a very powerful limiter.
It sure is.
And if there's a notion of someone failing in a public way, that's enough to stop them. Like public speaking is more feared statistically than death, I've heard.
Well, yeah, sometimes I would get in the ring to announce and my hands would be shaking. I'm like, oh my God, because I started to think about who was watching me. And once I did that, like, oh, a big show might be watching me or there's a celebrity watching me. And so, a bourbon helps.
Oh, jeez.
Or a shot of tequila, and then I'm ready to go. So sometimes I'll get in the ring and I'll step out real quick, and that's what I'm doing.
Oh, see, now I know. I'll be like, oh, he's just getting a drink. He'll be right back.
It's just a liquid courage that, no, but sometimes I do that just to kind of calm the nerve, just one shot. Hey, I'm just being honest, but
if you don't drink, what would you do? Like if you didn't do that, if you didn't drink, what would you do to calm yourself?
Oh, just take deep breaths and actually talk with a friend and get my mind off of whatever's happening. Because sometimes when you focus too much on, okay, you're reading your note cards and everything, and then it makes it worse. So just take your mind out of where you are. Yeah.
I used to do this open mic night because I would play guitar and sing. And the only reason I could handle it well, because if I'm just singing on my own, I'm thinking about how I sound and I'm not in the moment. But when I was playing guitar, I'm so occupied with the playing that I could sing just without even thought. And it's just having my like multiple things happening to distract my brain from what I'm actually doing, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it sounds like that's what you were doing too. Just kind of just make it more natural. Because I have the same thought, is that I get in my own head as well, and it's a terrible spot to hang out sometimes.
I'm starting to get nervous now. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this interview, and I'm like, oh, gosh, is this good or not?
It's terrible. We can end it here if you want. I really appreciate you coming in. No, but that is something to think about in the performance industry in general.
It is. Yeah.
Do you use a lot of improv when you're announcing?
I try not to, no. No, I keep it simple and go straight to the no cars, because when you're announcing, you have the commentators on the side of the ring. They're talking, to the TV audience. So if I'm talking, it's overpowering their commentation. So yeah, I keep it real simple and short. Yeah. Here in the red corner, blue corner, this is who it is, where they're from, bam, and then you're out. Yeah.
So what does it feel like to have your very like you say, nerdy side of insurance, but then you have a very creative side you get to kind of engage with.
Yeah. So I kind of, and that's almost the brand of the agency is you're going to be with a cool agency now, right? Our customer, and a lot of our clients, they follow on social media and stuff and see what we're doing. And, and a lot of them say, hey, let's hang out. Yeah.
They want to be friends.
They do. I'm like, here, we're going to a bike night. I'll invite them to, I'll get a table at the fights I'm announcing at, and let's go have some fun. Yeah. Yeah. So I invite them out.
It's nice to be able to kind of amplify a side of your life that really that you have to sort of dampen a little bit in terms of the litigiousness of what insurance can be like and having to sell in that way. But then you get to be almost completely different person.
Yeah. You have to break away from that kind of work life in insurance. Yeah. I mean, insurance industry is known for their agents drinking a lot, to tell you the truth, because they're trying to escape, right? So I don't really do that. I do activities instead.
You ride bikes,
ride bikes, do announcing, love to go shooting, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
To balance it all out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So to wrap up our interview, 'cause it's been really fun for me. What advice would you give someone who's interested in getting started in the industry? Let's say they know nothing about insurance. If you were going to start over, what would you do? Now, obviously the internet just provides so much information, but let's say someone's listening now and is like, if I get started now, in 10 years, I'm going to be all set, or however long. What would you say to them to get started?
Sure. Yeah. So, gosh, that's a whole interview session in itself, really, because First you have to decide what part of the insurance industry you want to get in. You want to be an adjuster, a claims adjuster, an underwriter, in the sales. If you're in the sales, what type of line do you want to write? You want to write life, health, personal lines, commercial lines, that kind of thing. So there's really a lot of options and choices. Then do you want to be with a captive agency like, State Farm, Allstate? They're all captive, means that they only write their own companies. Or you want to be an independent broker like we are and write several different companies or 100 different companies. So then when you write 100 different companies, you have to learn 100 different companies' way of doing business. So that's a lot. So when you're quoting somebody in the sales part of it, it might take, 5 hours to quote one person. If you're working at a captive agent, it will take you 5 minutes to quote, so, and those are free quotes. You're not making any money during that time. Yeah. But it gives you more options to win the business over somebody that just has one product. So yeah, you really have to decide which part of the industry you want to get involved in. Yeah, sales is always the most money.
Have you seen a lot of changes in the insurance industry since you've been in it?
Yeah, the insurance industry is getting a lot more strict with what they want to write. Some, like for auto claims history, they're going back 7 years instead of 5 years now. I think with homes, they want to see a lot of updates. The roof can't be more than 10 years old, even if it's a 25-year-old shingled roof, right? For the warranty, which doesn't make sense to me. I think it should all be, the roof should be like a tire warranty, right? So if you buy the tire warranty, if you drive it 30,000 miles, they prorate, that wear and tear. I think it should be the same way with all roof policies.
Well, it's so expensive to get a roof.
It is. Yeah.
10 years is not a long time for a roof, in my opinion.
It's not.
No, it's a short period. Interesting that they're getting so strict.
We just had a claim last year, and his roof was $60,000 to replace. It was a big, house. But yeah, $60,000. So when the insurance company pays that, right, and then their premium a year is, I don't know, 5,000. How many years is that just to break even, right? So they increase rates, right? And then the customer goes to shop for a lower rate to bring it back down to 5,000. Well, guess who pays the balance of that? All the other customers in that industry or in that carrier that has that carrier in that zip code. So somebody has to pay for it. Yeah. So when you bounce around a little bit, you're creating the expense for somebody else.
Well, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. Right.
Seems wrong.
Yeah.
You don't make the rules though. Right.
I don't, but it's just like, that's business. Yeah.
That's business.
Yeah. I mean, if you're paying something out, the money has to come from somewhere. Yeah.
Do you have a 5-year or a 10-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, we can do this job until we croak. Yeah. I mean, it's just computer work, really. So,
just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep winning awards after awards.
That's right.
Plaque after plaque.
That's right. Yeah. Because, we travel a lot and we just take our computer wherever we go. It's just a different office view. And, and it's an expensive office view, but, at least we're not in a cubicle every day, which is awful to me.
Yeah. It's some people's nightmare for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. There's a side of that you can live a life that is more dynamic and still have this, be in this profession.
Yeah. Our agents go, I don't even have, they don't have to be working at any specific time. I say, whenever you want to work, you work. Yeah. And they go on trips. One of my agents just told me he's going on a cruise for 2 weeks.
But still working.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. I say you better get the internet package. Yeah.
That's really great to know because, when the pandemic happened, most people had to have their remote work and now it's ending for a lot of people, including myself. So the notion of being able to work as much as you want and travel like you would like to, but still be able to support your life it's an attractive profession to be in that way.
It's great. I recommend it to mothers that have little kids. They can work from home, take their kids to school, take them to their activities. We have one agent that is a mother that does that. Take them to the doctor's office. She just did that the other day. So you have the freedom to do that. Yeah. Or, if you're disabled, it's a perfect job for disabled people. Yeah.
That's really important, I think, for people to know. I don't know how many people would actually have that kind of understanding of like what a typical day would be,
Yeah. I think last year I threw out my back, right? I couldn't move. So I was disabled, but I still got on my laptop and did my work. I could still get on the phone, but I couldn't move my legs. So unbelievable to be able to make money and even if you're injured. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm glad you're able to walk in here today.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, John D'Angelo. Come back again. And if you have some, we were just talking before the show that there may be some other people that would be really fun to have in the studio to kind of talk about the different aspects of the industry that, how they impact each other. It'd be really great.
Bring me in a roofer so we can argue on this show, for go back and forth. Not that
kind of show, but I just want peace, love, and harmony.
Actually, I did do an interview with one of my friends who, is a roofer. He's on Perimeter Roofing, and his name's Raymond Little. And we just educated the audience back and forth. We're great friends, and it was just awesome just to let the clients or the customers or the public know that, we're working side by side for them. Yeah.
Well, knowledge is power in that way. If I didn't know that an insurance company was going to give me a hard time after a roof of 10 years, you don't know until you're told no. There's only so much knowledge I can, comprehend depending on where I'm putting my attention. And there are just too many aspects of life that have too many rules that for me, if I'm not in the industry, I'm clueless.
Yeah. A lot of people, they just close their eyes, pay their monthly premium and pray nothing happens. And then when, something does happen, they're like, they pray that it gets covered. But there's a lot of endorsements that need to be done to cover everything. No insurance policy covers everything. That's a big misconception. I have full coverage. No, you don't. It's just a term.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you about the different things that you do, if they're Italian or they're interested in MMA things or they're interested in insurance
And motorcycles.
It's a lot of hats. Where can they find you?
Let's see. InsurancePM.com, most definitely, or under my name.
John D'Angelo.
John Emil D'Angelo. Yeah, that will pull up Instagram, Facebook. So, yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that you're able to come into the studio and not just talk about one aspect of your life, but I like that you have a well-rounded life. And I think it's very easy for people to kind of put their head down and work, especially in a certain age group. It's a good example, I think, for a lot of people when they sort of feel out of balance. Like, you obviously know how to manage your time, and knowing that you are saving people potentially from horrible heartache and financial ruin, you're giving them a sense of peace. And it's actually really exciting to see where you go. And I can see why you have won so many awards.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
So it actually makes me realize that I can get very out of balance with myself. But the fact that you really promote more of a balance for your life makes me think that that's something that I can have as well. There's an example right in front of me,
Right on. I appreciate it, Sharon.
Well, thanks for coming in. And thank you all for listening to Fearless Formula on Business RadioX. And again, this is Sharon Klein reminding you that with knowledge and understanding, we can have our own fearless formula. Have a great day.